Todd, second of a back-to-back. Cam Talbot faced a lot of rubber tonight. Last night, are we going to see Laurent Brossoit tonight?
Yes, we will.
Reasoning? Other than you saw a lot of
It's his turn to play. Talbot's workloads got up. We wanted to evaluate the game last night and overtime and had to play a pretty intense game as a goaltender. So LB will get the opportunity, and LB's played well in this building. He's a former Flame, and his exhibition starts here have been very good, probably been our best player. So hopefully he'll get the support he needs from the players in front of him, and he'll have a great night.
If Cam you'd won the game 3-4-1 and he only had 20-odd shots, would you have thought differently, or would that have entered?
What's that? Ifs and buts were candies and nuts. It didn't happen, so we're going with LB.
Sorry, Bob. He's had a chance to work with Dustin Schwartz, get some more work in. I mean, what has Schwartz said about him, and how's he looking?
He's worked hard in practice. He's, this time through, he should be a little more confident because he's played in the league a number of times now. And, we just want him to go out like any other player and give us his best night. We won't win or lose because of the goaltender. We'll win or lose because of the effort of all 20.
Any other changes to the lineup, or are you going to go with the same group?
We'll have some game time decisions based on bumps and bruises and that type of stuff.
Last night was a pretty physical game. What's the challenge of having that kind of game and then going on the road and playing another opponent that has a history of being rough against you?
With back-to-back games, 11 and 19, it's taxing on any team, and when that happens, it comes down to individual game management and knowing when to cut it short on a shift, how to manage the play near the end of a shift, how to regain momentum if you lose it. So that's all great tests for our team. As you get further into the season and if you're lucky enough to play in the playoffs, these types of games occur 28 times potentially, where it's tight checking, grind it out. The fatigue factor becomes a part of it, and it's a lesson that we have to learn. So it's a good night for our team.
Calgary played kind of a quiet game last Saturday. It was, they certainly did a good job neutralizing specifically Draisaitl and McDavid 5-on-5. But second of it back for them, they kind of managed their economy of energy level. Is that something like you said the other day your team can play any way? If they come out with a little more, and vinegar at home here and try to push the pace and forecheck a little bit more assertively, could you see you guys pushing back, or do you maybe adopt what they did last Saturday?
Well, we'll have a game plan that we need to play towards, and it will take into consideration where we are schedule-wise and fatigue and all that type of stuff. It's interesting. I've heard that from all of you guys media-wise. It wasn't a rough, tough game. I thought it was a very competitive game in 3-foot races and body position and tight checking against Calgary. Maybe everybody else was expecting something different, but at the end of that night, both teams were tired. Both teams had to battle hard. Yeah, it wasn't a 50-shot night, but that was because the checking was so tight. It was very competitive in a number of areas. It wasn't loose by any means, and those games are taxing to play. And I think last night was another one that we played. So they're adding up for us. So we'll do, we'll play our game and to our game plan, and as the game evolves, we'll be able to respond however it's played.
Chance that Lucic, who had his best game in a long while, might move up and play with Nugent Hopkins and Everly rather than the two kids?
We'll start the night with our lines, and then we'll make adjustments as we go.
He was much more appreciative of his game last night than some of the other ones. Did you see the same?
Milan, you're talking about?
He said he was more invested emotionally, and he looked more like he can play, he said.
Yeah, and the game presented itself that way. For Milan emotionally to be involved in the game, a lot of times it has to be that type of game. If it's a fast, freewheeling game without a lot of emotion, it's hard for him to be stirring it up all the time. Last night was a stir-up game, and he excelled in it. Was also rewarded with a real important goal late in the game. So he's going to feel good about it, and he's going to, I wouldn't even say he's got to bottle that up and bring it all the time, because he knows that. And sometimes it's the way the game is played or presented that affects the outcome of a player, not just Milan, but of any type of player.
So if you say he gets invested if a game is like that, but what if a game is not like that? Does he not then have to say, okay, I better take it upon myself to get emotional?
Well, it depends how you define emotionally involved. If it's going out and taking a dumb penalty and getting involved that way, then no, he doesn't have to get emotionally involved that way. But playing hard and competing and finishing should be part of his game all the time, and for the most part it is. I think he would tell you that he'd like to have a little bit of more of that in his game, but stupidity leads to losses. And if you plan on going out there and being stupid, the coach will actually take it away from you. So play hard, play smart. Milan's not a guy that takes a lot of, this big, he hasn't had a penalty minute in however freaking long routine that's come out. He doesn't take hooking and holding and slashing and those type of minors. When he takes minors, they're often roughing penalties. They're often taking somebody with them. They're often, charging or boarding penalties, which lead to physicality. But, you got to anticipate sometimes to get there and do that. But he doesn't take many stick penalties, and we're thankful for that.
You didn't win many face-offs, as you said last night. Would Lander be in tonight because he gets to win a face-off?
We're almost done with the lineup. Anton could be in. We will know after warm-up based on injuries who's going to play or not. We have Eric Greiba and Anton Lander as the two extra guys that didn't play last night. You're going to see as many potential players as we possibly could put in the game in warm-up. And then after warm-up, we're going to come off, and the trainer's going to check everybody that's sore, and the trainer's going to come to me and tell me that this guy can play or can't play, and then we're going to determine our lineup. So I can't even tell you who's going to be in it until after warm-up.
Can we get a thought on the Calgary Flames, the challenges that they give you? Obviously, they're red hot in the power play of late.
They may be the best power play team in the last month and a half. I think they're operating at 30-some%, and one of the best penalty kills. So the special teams scenario that presents itself tonight will be a big, big challenge for our team. We played Calgary a week ago, and we were lucky enough to get a power play goal that allowed us to basically to come away with a win. And if you win the special teams battle against anybody, you have a real good chance of a victory.
So we're all going to do Matt Hendricks playing his 500th game today. Should we not do Matt Hendricks?
No, you should do Matt Hendricks. As long as he's healthy, he'll be. Matty's going to play his 500th game one of these days.